Hey runners, happy Sunday, April 5th, and what a beautiful morning out here. I just finished a virtual 10K race. Um, as many of you know, we are currently in a crisis here with the pandemic, and a lot of our races have been either postponed or canceled. Um, with no Well, we don't know when the races will come back. They will come back, but we just don't know. Um, so there are tons of virtual races across the country. The one that I just did is the Rambling Runner 10K. Um, Rambling Runner is a fellow runner who has a podcast and actually had a 5K virtual last week that a couple of us did. The great thing about virtuals are you can do them anywhere, on a treadmill, outside like here, pretty much anywhere. And especially now that we're all practicing social distancing, it's even more important to give us that space and, be able to knock out this virtual. So it's very tough. I went into it not sure really how I do. I had an idea of kind of like where I might fall in terms of pace and overall time. I will say this, I did stop twice. I stopped around 3.38, and again, I say at like 5 or so, 5.5. Excuse me, about 5 miles. And so it was tough just to keep the pace. There's a loop here in Lakewood, right behind me. It's basically a 2.5 mile route that just goes around this neighborhood. And there is a little bit of an area where it's downhill, and then you go uphill a little bit. So it's a good course for doing something like this, speed work, or just, everyday runs. So it was tough, but I'm glad I did it. Mentally, it is a different ball game when you're doing this by yourself. Last week when I did the 5K, that was tough. Surprisingly, I did a little bit better, even though I had 2 stops. One because a couple of the runners, one was lost a little bit, and then I stopped a second time. Of course, we were social distancing, practicing that with plenty of room. In fact, it was probably with, like a minute apart or so here and there at parts of the race. So I'm glad I did it. There's another one that I'm doing 2 weeks from today, and that's by a gentleman that we follow, a good runner, a former CU runner, Seth. It's called the Demore Global Running Virtual, and you have your choice of doing a 5K, 10K half marathon, or marathon. So I just can't picture doing a marathon, even a half marathon, virtual. But there are people that do it, and that's the wonderful thing about this is you can do virtually any distance, and it's free, which is nice. That will be in 2 weeks, and I chose to do the 5K. But definitely good practice out here so that when we all resume our races, I will be able to revert back to this and, kind of replay that mental library for the race. Overall time on my watch was 51:03. However, since I did stop a couple times, the elapsed time, that is from beginning to end, regardless whether you stop your watch or not, was 52:23, I believe. I'll have to check that, or 32. Anyways, it comes out to like an 8:28 pace with the stop, so I'm happy with that. I guess if I didn't stop, probably would have landed somewhere around there. So it's just something I've got to think a little bit more mentally, because it is a tough thing to do when you're doing it by yourself. Even though there's some people around you, it's definitely not a race environment. So anyways, that is it. I am going to the bagel store and get some bagels and some coffee and look at the data on Strava, Garmin, Final Surge, all my programs for this Sunday. So anyways, if you still have your virtuals to do coming up or have done them, congratulations. Good luck to you. Definitely keep moving and get your exercise. Great thing about running is you can do it virtually anywhere, anytime. And please practice social distancing and be safe out there, everyone. Take care.